Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. So excited to have each and every one of you here live today. We have something really special treat for you today. So if you are joining us live or you are catching the replay, do let us know you're here. Send us a like or heart. Let us know underneath this comment section where you are joining us from. So today, we are kicking off our On Purpose Connection series in celebration of it being Women's History Month and International Women's Day on the 8th. So this is really an opportunity to kind of share some of the women that have been very inspirational and instrumental in my life, who are also in other women's lives around the world. And really just to start the more of the community, the connection, and conversation about women that are creating change in our culture and in our society. So without further ado, I wanted to introduce you to my good friend, Simona Barbieri, who is the founder and creative director of HubDot, a social launchpad for thinkers, storytellers, and
Misha, you can, okay.
Yes, go ahead and, yes. There we go. There she is.
Hi, I think you froze. Hi, Leslie, how are you? You froze for a
Simona.
second. Misha, you were there? Yes, but
Okay.
all good, all good. Hi,
Beautiful.
thank
There
you
she
so
is,
much.
Simona, joining us from London. Hello,
Oh, look, I got
beautiful.
my heart. I always have my physical emoji heart. That's what we do now.
Yes, I feel it. I feel it. So beautiful.
Talking of purpose and seeing you after all this time is literally, I'm feeling so really full of joy. And yeah, I've been thinking about this whole, thing, seeing you and seeing you, thinking about you on that stage, sharing that story, and then now being part of this incredible platform. So I thank you for the opportunity, but it's very moving. It's wonderful to reconnect, right?
Absolutely. My pleasure. And we are so excited to have you and hear more about your story, what it is that you do in the world. And I'm sure all the women would love to hear it and probably have some questions for you. So if you are joining us live, you want to go ahead and drop your questions or your comments, engage with me and Simona underneath this Facebook video, and the lovely Misha will make sure that your comments or questions, that we'll be able to track them here in Zoom. So go ahead and just engage with Simona and myself there. So just going back to Simona, she'll tell us more about HubDot, but just basically, well, so incredible. It's launched in 25 cities around the world, and they basically coach you to become a storyteller, help you to find and craft your unique story in 1 minute. That's right, 1 minute. We're gonna hear more about that and share it with the world. And they have a incredible experience that they're also starting with the women around the world. We'll hear more about that. And HubDot is really a tested and proven methodology to implement and nurture inclusive cultures within communities and organizations of all kinds. HubDot has worked with global banks, including HSBC and Credit Suisse, across the education system and into schools, as well as to businesses, including Ernst & Young, Anthropology, and law firms, including Paul Hastings. Wow, 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 wow. And just a personal bit about Simona. She is a jazz singer and a mama of 3. She's from London, UK, which is how we met, and that was the connection. But she is Italian and Neapolitan by soul, and she's a Sagittarius like me. That's probably why we get along so well. She's a self-care junkie, and her favorite quote, which is one of mine from Marianne Williamson, is that our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. So good. So
Oh my God,
welcome,
that's such a
Simona.
lovely,
Welcome to
that's
our
such a
On
lovely
Purpose
intro.
Collective from London.
When people introduce you and you go, is that really me? Is that
Yeah,
actually
that is you. Yes, we are
Yeah,
celebrating you. We're celebrating women. So this is absolutely your opportunity to
Oh,
shine here with
thank you,
all of us in the On
Leslie.
Purpose
Honestly,
Collective.
that's absolutely wonderful. It's so lovely to be here. I want to meet everyone, so I hope we can, yeah, we can sort of, we're not going to see them, right? But we're going to read what they ask.
Yes, exactly. So let us know if you're joining us underneath this Facebook video, that you're joining us, where you're joining us from. Drop your comments, any questions, and the lovely Misha will bring it here onto the Zoom chat and we will track you here. We have Dominique from Barcelona, lovely, 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 beautiful. So let's just dive right in, and you guys keep, letting us know you're here and your comments and questions, but let's dive right in. So I know you're a really busy woman and mama, and I just really appreciate you for being here with us and kicking off our On Purpose Connection series.
Total pleasure.
So let's just kick it off by asking, what does on purpose mean to you?
Wow. So, Leslie, you remember me, don't you? As you said, I'm Neapolitan, very passionate Italian, Southern Italian. So when I talk about something that I'm very passionate about, for example, purpose and what purpose is, I tend to talk and talk. So you just got to stop me and say, okay, enough now. I tend to over talk and people just go, clear. Okay, all right. Wow, what does that mean? So it means, first of all, something that I've truly embraced, I would say, very recently, or really understood what that meant for me individually. So I always felt that, purpose was obviously a very big word in my life and in my professional career, but I guess I truly understood what that is to me very recently. And so what on purpose for me is almost, it sort of happened a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, when I understood that I had to change the sort of literally shift the narrative from the not enough and not what I thought I would be and I would become to this is exactly where I need to be. This is exactly my calling. This is exactly my vision. This is exactly is my, follow the bliss. So for me, purpose is feeling that every day in everything that I do, in what I choose, I choose to do business, how I choose to make money, how I choose not to make money within HubDot, how I am guided by that. And so I feel that there is a very strong alignment, but that alignment only happened when I understood that what I am doing with HubDot is completely, I couldn't do anything different. It was literally a moment of, this is it. Like, this is it. Now it all makes sense. It's
Mm.
taken me a few years, as you know, it's been a very interesting journey. But I guess, yeah, so I now every day I'm on purpose. Every day I feel that I'm centered, that everything I say and I do, and even when I make mistakes or I choose things that maybe the team doesn't agree with me, or people around me who I respect, I feel that I do that guided by my purpose. Am I making sense?
So good. I love that. I love everything that you've shared right now. It's about feeling, it's about being guided, intuitively guided, not knowing exactly the how, but just being pulled by
This
your
is
vision,
it.
being
And you
pulled
talk
by your
about
purpose and not being pushed by the pain.
well done. And so you talk about intuition. That's exactly what I've been. So this is a fairly, not a new space, because I'm somebody who has always been in a very sort of, not rational. I've always had my music and I've been in the sort of intuitive space. But I think very recently, I've truly understood the meaning and the power of stepping into that space, of truly be guided by that. So what, before in the past, I used to put my hand very tight on my heart and go, oh no, I don't think is right. And now if I do this, is because I go, that's it. I know why I need to do it like this. And I know why
So
this, right?
good.
And it's,
So good. This is everything that I'm
but you've been
sharing,
there
I'm stepping
forever.
into. No, like you say, it's a process. Like you hear the whisperings, you feel the tap on your shoulder, but it's like, okay, you make one step
Totally.
here, maybe one step there, but it's like, okay, then you really start to, at some point in your life, and like you're saying, you're exactly where you need to be, that at some point you're like, you just go all in.
And you
Mm.
silence, don't you? And you have all of those sort of voices. I call them the monkeys. I have this vision when I, the peak of my biggest stress with HubDot. I used to dream about all these sort of monkeys in my head, just coming really aggressively. And when you keep the monkeys or those voices entertained, because you know that that voice that was whispering is so loud, you gotta just listen. You gotta pause. You gotta stop, and you gotta go, okay, this is. I'm listening. I'm listening. Everything else can be entertained, can be quietened, they just, I don't need any of you. I don't need any of those
Yeah,
voices.
exactly. So let's actually hear more about that. How did you come to Hubdot? What was your background before? How did it come? How was it born? And yeah, tell us more
Yeah.
about it, how you got there.
So, wow, I feel really old. We just celebrated 8 years that I just think, oh my
Happy
goodness.
8 years.
My kids, my youngest was really tiny when I started. So HubDot started in 2012. I always say that I am the most accidental entrepreneur and in the world. And in fact, only recently we have managed it, thanks to all the work that I've done at my own level. So in a way, the success of HubDot has been my success as a human being and the work that I had to do internally, which I think is another story. But I guess it's been an incredible journey. And for me, is I fundamentally in 2012, while I was doing something completely different, I'd been working for Goldman Sachs in London for a few years, and then I left. I went into jazz singing professionally, which is something that I started while I was having kids. And I always used to sing when I was young, and I thought I'm just going to go and really do this professionally. And so I went from these very sort of different careers and different spaces. And there was a moment in 2012 where I really felt that the world around me and the events and the networking that I could, find was very much centered around this the sort of the what do you do question
Mm,
and where do you work,
yeah.
and are you this and are you that, and have you achieved, are you a CFO level, are you the C-suite? And I was always, they had this thing in my head of I don't really want to tell you what I'm doing. I want to tell you about my story. And it was always, and I've always been like that. All my friends in London always say, but Simona, is obviously you started HubDot, because I always used to say, I wonder what her story is or his story is. And I wonder what it's really all about. Maybe somebody would have been very aggressive with me at work. And I would say, gosh, I wonder what's behind that. What is the story of that individual? So a group of us in 2012, we literally said, we just want to change the rules of networking. We just want to celebrate ourselves as women, because Subdot started around my kitchen table in London with a group of, a few friends. And we just said, what about we start the conversation with what is your story? And we strip the label and we give everyone this feeling of no pressure, no judgment, no needing to be, no needing to prove. Just you are enough. You today, with your story, with your mindset,
Mm,
with what you have achieved, what you haven't achieved, with the confusion that you have in your mind. You're just here with your story, and that's it. So 100 friends in London on 24th of June 2012. We were 6,000 year one, and then so we've grown and grown and grown. And at the start, we didn't really, I say accidental entrepreneur, because we didn't really plan to be anything. It was this idea, this need. It was a need of saying, please take away these labels. I wanted my lawyer friend in London who was so successful to meet my musician friend, because I knew that all she wanted to do was to learn how to play the double bass. And I wanted my
mm,
friend who was a musician who loved art to really connect with that art gallery. But for her, living in Brixton, it was all really cool and very posh people that Simona knows. And I just thought, can we just strip the label? So we just put this group together, and the whole thing started with one coffee morning, and then another one, and then an event, and then another event, and then we've grown. And so 8 years on, we now define HubDot, as you beautifully said, as a launch pad. We love that word because it is a space where a community, obviously, but where individuals come together through the power of their story to connect in a meaningful way, so that they can really move forward and make connections that are on a personal level, on a professional level. Is more, think of it as the sort of networking with a soul. And so this is the amazing story, right? So I want to say that, so the two stories, right? So the wonderful story is that we did all of this through volunteers. We launched in 25 cities. New York City was our 25th last February before
oh,
COVID. And
congratulations, New
then
York.
Barcelona, yes, and it was a physical event with almost over
Mm,
400 incredible people from all over, really, New York, but also they traveled. And then we done South Africa. So we were running physical events with all these teams in different cities, and we created a blueprint. We protected our trademark, our IP, and so this idea in a nutshell, I've got a dot behind me, which is sort of, Hub Dot is based on three main sort of, pillars or concepts. So the first one is everyone is the same. So we are about leveling the audience. So you are there with your dot. It used to be a physical dot, and now online we do a virtual dot that you pick. So you just express your mindset, and there's 5 dots. So the purple is I want to tell you my story. The yellow is I have an idea. Can somebody help me? The green is I'm here to be inspired. The blue is I'm here to make new connections. And red, I have knowledge to share. I have skills I would like to make available. And so first element, everyone is the same. You are your dot and your story, and that's it. No judgment, no age, no differences. The second one is the storytelling. So we select, like you were for us, Leslie, in Petersham Nurseries. We pick stories and we help them share that story in this sort of minute and a half format, almost like the elevator pitch, but with a ton of soul and purpose. And the third is the alchemy and the transformations that result because of that. Because when you are in a space that now is online, where you are able, I always say, the shoulders come down, you hear stories, you straight away think, okay, here is a safe space. I can be myself. It's okay that no one is going to think of me. No one is going to assume things about me. Then transformations happen. And so
Mhm.
this is the hub dot as a concept. The other part of the story is how I got here, which has been completely, and every time I think about this, I go, oh, this feels so deep. And it is deep, is that I was only able to turn this into a reality, but was, I don't know, an intuition, an idea through everyone who's helped me. So I talk about this collective all the time. I may be the
Yeah.
face of HubDot, I'm the founder and all that. We don't say titles, but okay, I started it. But it's been literally, it was your story, Leslie. It was the 75, team members all over the world who were running events that have really helped me create and develop what this thing was meant to be, right? It wasn't my idea of a club, for women and this, not at all. It was, let's just see, let's just go with the flow. And so going with the flow came at a big price. And I'll pause on that.
Yeah, let's unpack a little bit. Let's unpack. There's so much good stuff in there. So going back to, yes, because as some of you may know, and I shared in my on Purpose Collective, is that I did speak. It was 2016 in London. I flew from Barcelona. I was a purple dot, and I shared my story about my father passing away and how he was on a hospice care and how I turned that very painful point in my life to purpose in my life and in my work. And I'd love to hear about how you help women craft a soulful pitch in 1 to 1.5 minute. Like how do you do that? Like, and why is it 1.5 minute? Like where's this like
Yeah,
secret?
absolutely. Where does it absolutely? So
Where did it come
so it
from?
so it comes from this. So we started when I created the hub dot as a format of event. Then now we do online, and it's an online space every month. I hope that everyone can join us at the live piazza. The next one is on the 12th of March, by the way, which is the international for International Women's Day, but it's a collaboration with anthropology, and the title is Redefining Womanhood. So it's a very
Mm,
interesting angle to an incredible celebration. So I thought about creating a format that would really create energy among people. So I used to go to conferences in my old job where I used to just sit and think, okay, right. I mean, you could have said that, in a much shorter time. And I didn't want to have people at my event going like this on the phone and just being distracted,
yes.
right? And like, I think, yeah. No, I just wanted eyes and ears and,
Mm,
just being present and being the moment. So I thought, let's just give everyone sort of a couple of minutes. And the idea of the 1 minute story came because as you do your elevator pitch in 1 minute, so tell me, boom, what is this? What is this company? Why do you do it? What is your why, your what, your how? In the same way, you can think about the story that is your story today, and you can deliver it in a very compelling way so that the person who hears it can go, oh, wow, one, what is the action? I'm interested in that. I know somebody who can help you. You can, you unlock the alchemy in the other person. The person can say, oh my God, I love what you've just said. And do you know that there is an organizer? Do you know that a friend of mine is looking, is looking to invest in a company like yours? So to unlock that, I wanted to help everyone have a very compelling and deep and meaningful minute to share. So the idea is that everyone has a story to tell. We all
Mhm.
do. That's why we call you, all of you, storytellers and not speakers. So we're not about the podium and the big slides and the big sort of status. We're
Mhm.
about, say, you have in your life an incredible minute that the world needs to hear, and most of all that you need to craft and understand. So it is quite a daunting question. What is your story today? What is,
Mhm.
so we've put together this course, and it happened because after helping thousands of storytellers around the world, from Antigua to Barcelona to Houston, literally around the world in lots of different languages, people were asking me, will you help me, Simona? You will help me. I don't even know what my story is. And I feel, and by doing this exercise of thinking, this is my story, we've helped so many people
Mm.
feeling incredible. Like,
Yeah, and
because we all
when is that
do.
again? We're gonna drop the information underneath
Yeah.
this Facebook
So this
video.
is
That's
starting, it's starting sort of, this week. So you can still
mhm.
join because it's sort of kicking off today and tomorrow morning. I think the email is already gone. So they
Okay.
can still join, but otherwise the next one is in April. So you'll find it on the website. That I can't even
Awesome.
remember the
I'll
date.
drop
But
the link underneath
we'll
this
do them
Facebook
regularly.
video.
So the idea is that over
Yeah.
5 weeks, you craft your story. We give you our toolkit. There's some sort of live sessions that I do with you, and and it's amazing. And then we think about who do we know within the hub community who can be your
Mhm.
alchemy, your connections that can make a real difference
Yes, it's so,
in the
so
story.
powerful. I love that you build this where
Really?
you help the women curate their story, because it's so difficult when you're so in it to get that really unbiased kind of like that because when you did my story, when you helped me with my story, I was so in it. It was barely a year coming up on the anniversary of my father's death. And I really didn't, I mean, I even got emotional, right? I remember you had my script, thank God, because I got so emotional, I just blacked out, which doesn't really happen when I speak. And
It was very
yeah,
powerful.
it's so powerful to have someone, number one, be seen and heard for your story,
Yeah.
to have someone witness you in that container, to help you, curate, cultivate that so it's very concise, because there is something very powerful and healing when a woman can really stand for her story and be witnessed in that with other women.
Completely. And Leslie, when you find, and when, because we all as women, we really, it's probably because of how we grew up, and it doesn't matter where in the world, but I think we've been conditioned by a lot of beliefs, and those
Yep.
beliefs, they don't serve us anymore. We need to get rid of them. We need to say thank you. So
Mhm.
thank you, mom, thank you, dad, thank you,
Yeah.
everything that you gave me in the world. But we need to go into a different space, which is, I am here with my story, and that story, once you understand, also when you have that clarity, it's not about a project or an idea that you need to have closure around. It's about just spending time on that and then saying, this is where I'm going. So that direction, when you're clear, then literally
Mhm.
endless possibilities. There's
It's so good.
nothing
It's so
that
good.
we
It's so
can't
powerful.
do.
And I just have to
There's
say, because
nothing that we
I've
can't
been
do. We can do everything.
I've been on the other side of it, ladies. For those of you that are watching live or the replay, and if you are watching us live, go ahead and drop your questions and we'll bring it on here for Simona to answer. But it's so powerful to be witnessed in that, in your story, and to have someone help you with that, because like you're saying, you get clarity, and it's not so much okay what to do with it, but like there will be something that possibly come from it, whether it's the alchemy in Habdad or just the transmission and the healing from being able to express your story,
Yes.
because like you said,
Voicing
we
it.
have not been able to speak our truth, especially as women. And like you say, at no fault to our parents, because they were doing the best that they could, but just acknowledge, okay, we are who we are, and it served us in some way and some
Mhm.
purpose. And now to make us go higher, and for a better generation, and more conscious, that it's like, okay, now I'm going to speak up. I'm going to speak my truth, and I'm
Completely.
going to
And
share it, and not be
this is
vulnerable.
it.
Vulnerable is beautiful. It's powerful.
and
It's
and you,
not
and also
a
making, you
weakness.
make yourself accountable for it. So you craft the story, you find that voice, and then it's up to you when you share it, who you share it with. But also that when you share that story, an idea, it could be anything, you are also gifting other women of something so precious, because you
Yes,
don't know the ripple effect of that story,
that's
the
it.
words. And it could be even in a social environment. I'm not saying that you share it at one of, a big event. You can just share it with one person, over a coffee, and the impact. So we're all
Yes,
about this, the sisterhood
so
is what it
good.
is, right?
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm actually getting goosebumps in my turtleneck, because I experience this every time in my programs and masterminds, and with my mentors and
Oh,
with my sisterhood, whether I'm on the receiving end or I'm giving it. is like when you hear someone share, it gives you the power to speak up as well, right? There's that quote by Maya Angelou that says, when you stand up for yourself, you stand up for other women. And it's like, it's true.
Completely.
It's so true. It's like
Totally.
you
And the
give
other
them
thing,
permission to be
you are
themselves.
you are so right. This is exactly right. And the other thing, by the way, is that maybe a lot of women do. And I was talking about this morning with someone. Is that and maybe this comes as I hit my big birthday in November, which is I can't believe I'm going to be 50. I don't feel it.
No,
The
you don't look
wisdom,
it.
the wisdom is that I think it's this idea that when we hear and when we see a woman who is really is really stepped into her power and is really confident in sharing her story, whatever that story may be, we need to go into this thing of saying, not, oh my God, like she's amazing, but I am here and I'm nowhere near where should we need to go into look at that light, that literally that is a sister. No matter you may not know who she is, but that is somebody who is creating, paving the way, right? And it's exactly what the quote that you just mentioned is elevating us saying, I want to identify and I'm going to get there myself, maybe in a different style. We all have different styles, but let's not think that the women who are there, that they're so like weird creatures and they're just this is super powered women. We're all the same. We're all the
Yeah, and
same.
that's it. And that's the feminine way, which I think we're stepping more and more into and being more conscious of. It's collaboration over competition.
Yeah.
And one of my mentors says that it sticks with me all the time is that a rising tide lifts all boats. So if we stand in our light and we speak our truth, we help
I
other
love
women
that.
to
I'm gonna
do the
write it
same.
down. A rising tide.
Lifts all boats. Yes, so, so good. So let's go
Wow.
back. I want to unpack one more thing because I know, when I spoke on your stage, it was 2016, and a lot has changed, right? Because all your events were in person. So I'd
Yes.
love to know, how has this transformed HubDot, how you've connected and how you had to pivot last
Wow.
year, and perhaps maybe any advice you can give other women that are
Yes.
watching about how, some tips on that.
Absolutely. So the sort of so we once we started this global movement around the world, we then went to a point of literally was within sort of a couple of years that we just thought, okay, we need to sustain HubDot as a business. Who are we going to be? And it was very interesting because again, that's also another theme around women, that women tend to not everyone, but a lot of them, if we do have an idea of an incredible project or everything that is purpose or heart led, we go into it's a charity, it's a sort of we think in that way, but actually we also need to work on that shift as well. And this is about what I've learned as a woman, which is we can make a difference. We can still, be heart led and do everything in a meaningful way, but at the same time, make it profitable. And so for that,
Yes, impact, influence, and income, all of it. Yes,
purpose,
so good.
profit, and people,
Yes, it's it. The eyes and
right?
the peas, the peas and the eyes. So
This
good.
is it's
Sorry,
really
I interrupted you.
important, but this is so wonderful because it is like it's this sort of being enlightened around this new way. And I think this is what you were saying at the beginning, Leslie, right? Which is, by the way, what you were doing when I first met you and everyone in that room. I remember that moment of everyone looking at you and your words and how you were talking, how you delivered your story. It wasn't obviously very personal about your dad, but there was something about the way you stood on that stage. And that is what I always describe as being very feminine, energy driven. It's this where there's no ego, where actually it's I'm here and I'm sharing, and this is incredible. And so in the same way I've really managed to build the business side of things. It's taken us 8 years, and just now with 8 years, I can't believe it, we're starting to see the beginning of sort of literally of that, the revenues coming in and how the sort of the business model is going to work. So we fundamentally had to pivot. So our business model was based on events, not really sort of a money making. We're a social enterprise, but the idea was to monetize through events. Then COVID hit, and New York at the end of 24th of February was our last physical city that we launched. We had 2 weeks of complete, I mean, literally, if I think about it, I feel literally physically sort of, exactly what I felt then. I froze. Because everything that we had built based on physical, so it was all physical events. Don't be online, don't exchange. It's not about Facebook. Come be together.
It was
Come
me
just
too. Mine was all in-person events. Yep.
right, all of it.
I
So we
feel
went to
you.
say, okay, what's going to happen? I didn't talk, so the team was, texting me and say, "You okay?" And I wasn't saying, I couldn't speak. Then after 2 weeks, I remember getting on this call with the team, and I said, we up. I mean, everyone was really upset, and I said, you know what? There is one thing that has always, it makes me emotional thinking about it, that is always giving us the answer, always, at every moment that we had to pivot in 8 years. And they just went, what is it? And I said, it's the community, it's the
Mm,
people that we had, it's
mm,
all the stories. So let's go out to them. Let's not find an answer. Let's not,
so
let's
good.
just sit here. let's
Yes.
just let's get them online. I don't know, what can we use?
Mm,
Zoom. So we did the first event on the 8th of April, and we had 450 registered on Zoom.
wow.
But
Amazing.
then this amazing thing happened from physical events in
Mm,
different cities with borders. So we had the Milan events, the Washington DC events. All of a sudden, we became one human space, shared space online. And all of a sudden, we had 110 cities calling in from different corners of the world, finally saying, I've been part of this community for 8 years and I couldn't go to physical events, and
yeah.
now I can be on Zoom. So we literally, it's been incredible. And I,
Mm,
touching wood, I don't really want to say it, but it's been, and it's hopefully it's been a good sort of, if there could be a positive COVID story, but definitely a pivoting that has been
mhm,
incredible. Digital is working for us, right? It
so
never
good.
worked before, and now
Mm,
we have something that is that feel that people can really trust, and so we're transferring all of that into it. So we're saying, hey, the investor in New York, you've got to meet this, but you can find each other, you can see each other at an event. And so we are now entering this new phase as we just hit the 8th year anniversary of of this community online. And after Clubhouse and all this new beginning of audio apps and everyone needing that human touch,
mm.
we think that we're really well positioned for doing something really exciting. Yeah.
Oh, so, so good. I just want to congratulate you
And
on
lots of
staying.
collaborations
Yes.
by the
So
way,
good.
Hub Dog.
Collaboration and community. Okay, we're like in the C's now. CC. Collaboration, community,
Yes.
connection. I love that. I love that you just made it about community first and foremost. You knew that's what you had.
Yeah.
And like you say, they trusted you, that know, like, and trust factor, and that you went to be of service. And from that,
Right.
it's like like so much bigger than you could ever imagine, right?
And that's
I
the
know
purpose.
that.
That is the
Amazing.
purpose, right? That's the
It.
on
That's it.
purpose.
Yes.
It was what is it all about? Okay, company, but the community, that spirit, it's a pulse. It's always, there, right? And so, yeah, I mean, we're learning every day. We don't know, right, when what the new normal is going to be, but it's really exciting. I don't want to go back to my old normal at all.
I kind of hear you on that as well. I feel the same way. I totally stepped into my expansion last year when
Yeah.
most of the world was shutting down, and I hired a year-long mentor, and I just went online. I had no idea. I didn't have like the professional ring light. I had nothing. And I just like went online and did like free meditation breathwork coaching for my community. And all of a sudden it was like such good feedback. I'm like, well, then how do I continue this? And then that's how I created this Facebook
It's
group, because how do you
incredible.
continue it past the weekly event? Because and I needed it as well, is the community and connection.
Yeah.
And that was
and
so,
that's
so
what
important.
and that's what you are. I mean, we, all women are like that, but you, Leslie, have got that gift, right? You are literally a source of light. I mean, I remember meeting you the first time and thinking there's something so special about this woman, and you do. So you're just, now online, right? You're on a screen, but I feel exactly the same energy just being here. It's exactly the
Mm.
same. I'll miss this. Big hugs, we will, but
Big
so it is
hug, big
possible.
virtual
It is
hug.
possible.
So
Yeah.
I'd love to know, this is so incredible. So I'd love to know, where do you see HubDoc going from here? How can women that are watching, how can they get in touch? What's on the horizon for you and HubDoc?
That's so kind of you, and giving me this incredible platform and all this time to talk about Habdo. I'm really truly truly grateful. So I really appreciate you, Leslie.
And I'm
So
sure Misha, you can drop in the comments. I think it's just hubdoc.com. And then
yes,
storytellers, you'll tell us about that.
and it's
Misha,
the
you can find
storytellers
the link to that and
experience,
drop that in the comments as
because it's
well.
quite interesting. I mean, people come for this, for this sort of storytelling experience for different reasons. Somebody for a professional, so they want to reinvent themselves. They want to think about how do they position themselves, or what is that story, others for a sort of very, internal sort of, self-growth, process and all of that. But yeah, it would be amazing. Anyone who's interested, also, drop us an email and we can give you, answers of how it works. So basically so what do I see? I definitely see this community getting tighter and closer. So my idea is that the community is, almost, 30, I think 34,000 altogether, fairly small,
Amazing.
but it is an international community and it's real people. So we are thinking we got to bring them all together. We're going to make sure that, literally everyone that they're looking for, whatever they're looking for, they find each other. So definitely for now, you can sign up onto HubDot. There's no membership. So you're just part of the community. You receive our invitations to our, live piazzas events. You can sign up to the course and all of that. But we see definitely a piazza, what I call in Italian, right? La piazza
Mhm.
digitale. We see what was always the vision since 2014, really, of this one space where you can find, it's going to be a very unique space. So you can find lots of other groups and organizations, but literally you can find each other. At the moment you can't, right? You come to our events, but then how do you create that ongoing? So people keep saying, but I can't remember that person at that event. She's an amazing artist, and I'm not. So we need to connect everyone. So that's the first thing that we need to do, and then obviously really go deeper into this idea of empowering everyone to own and find their voice and their story. We're very big on that. So, our vision is for everyone to become a storyteller, to give them a stage and a space to share that story so that the story can make impact and you can connect. And all of a sudden you have 10 connections, 5 connections that are, people that you would have never, ever met. But now it's possible because we're online. So all of a sudden we just got to create those channels, right? But yeah, the piazza where
Beautiful.
it can be that space, I guess.
Amazing. So the women just go to hubdot.com, they sign up and to your list, and they'll get all the information on upcoming events. The next storytellers experience is the dates for that again?
There's one, I think, starting today. So I'm not sure if you can
Okay.
sign up, or the next one you can join in April.
April.
And
Okay.
they start every 5 weeks. So it's
Every
ongoing and
5
it's
weeks.
partly, yes.
Okay,
And then we
beautiful.
have the 12th of March is our English event on Zoom, which is in collaboration with Anthropology US. So it's going to be
Amazing.
6 o'clock Eastern time, which is our 11 o'clock. So it will be your
Okay.
midnight, but it's a Friday night, next Friday. So we can all party.
We
That's the vibe.
we have a lot of women here that are in the US, so I think it's still going to work. It's still going to work. It's
Yeah.
good. Oh, amazing. Okay, so we'll make sure to drop all that information below, and I want to come to the next one. I want to come to the next
Please.
one.
I
So
was about to
midnight, it's
say,
midnight Friday, you said?
please, midnight. Come on. You just get
Do I
yourself
have to have
a
my video on?
cocktail.
I got my video on my pajamas.
Come on, you can we all dress
All
up
right.
because we dress up for
Okay.
our
All
event.
right. I'm going to put it in. It's in the
Please.
calendar. All right. I want to see some other women here from On Purpose Collective. We'll go together. Beautiful. Okay. So I thank you so much we've gone a little bit over because we're just like in the flow. This is the feminine way. I'm so excited to
Sorry, I talk too
chat with you
much.
about everything that's going on. So, okay, we're going to drop all those links below this Facebook video so women know how to get to you. And then also you guys are on Instagram as well, right?
Yes,
So they can follow you there.
HubDot. We're on Instagram. Absolutely.
Awesome.
That's our preferred platform. We're also on
Beautiful.
LinkedIn, but it's HubDot. HUBDOT. Yeah, HubDot.
Awesome. 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 So just a few last things. And of course, ladies, if you are on live, this is your moment to ask Simona any questions that you may have. But I just wanted to ask you, in the spirit of Women's History Month and International Women's Day coming up, we'd love to know, one woman who has inspired you to be the woman who you are today.
Oh, so many. And I was thinking about this. I would say, Leslie, in all honesty, that I have truly been inspired by what I call the everyday women, which is not derogatory at all. It's just us, like normal, women, right, who do amazing things in whatever sector. So that's where my inspiration comes. And I would say if I had to pick one person, one woman, I would probably say my grandmother, because I think I'm completely channeling her. And I never, this is literally, I can't even talk about this. Oh my goodness, it's been a very, very recent sort of revelation for me, because I grew up thinking that I really wasn't her favorite granddaughter, right? So my sister was the one. I wasn't. I was very naughty and I was very crazy and very sort of not very easy to manage. But in reality, I'm completely her. So my grandmother used to connect everyone. She used to literally sit like this and just go, oh, I see. Do you know the sound of that? She didn't mind about status and how much money people had or they didn't have. It was this very pure human connection. She was the ultimate alchemist and connector. So she's my inspiration. Mimi. Her
I
name
love
was
that. The
Mimi.
ultimate alchemist, and you're all about that alchemy.
Yeah.
I know you use that hashtag on Instagram. I
Yeah.
love that. She was the true alchemist, the original.
The original
Oh, so
alchemist. She had no
beautiful.
idea, If
Oh,
only. I know she's watching. She knows what we're doing.
oh, beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. And one last question. What advice would you give your younger self now that you've had all these life experiences?
Oh my God, a lot.
I know. How much time do we got?
Okay, one. I would say to Simona, I would say, don't be scared of your true power. Don't be scared of shining so bright, because actually you're entitled. You can, and don't worry. Judgment will always come, but just don't be scared of that aura, because you have it, and just enjoy it. Just don't spend all these years thinking that you're not worthy of it. Yeah, that's what I
Mm.
would tell myself.
Oh, so good. I think we would all tell our younger selves that. I think we all have some remnants of that, but thank you so much for sharing with us.
Oh,
We have
lovely.
Wendy, I believe Wendy, she said, thank you, Simona. I know she's joining us from the West Coast. I believe she's on the West Coast in the
Hi,
city. So,
Wendy. Thank you. So nice to
oh,
be here.
yes, it was so lovely to have you. So I want to keep talking with you. We can maybe bring you on again with some other dots next time. We'll bring on like all the different colored dots.
Anytime, anytime. But I hope,
That
but
would
I
be
hope
so
we can
fun.
have you at our next Hub Dot events, and we can meet everyone. They can have an opportunity, obviously, maybe to share their stories. So it would be amazing, right? And I really want to hear. You're doing fantastic. I'm so inspired, Leslie, of what you're doing. So you and I need to catch up and have a proper coffee and really talk.
Yes,
We
yes, we
will.
will. But I just thank you so much for coming on here. And of course, way back when, thank you so much for being part of my story, to share my story, and this just been so life-changing for me, so powerful for me, and to be able to stand in my truth and to be able to share that and to help other women share their truth as well has been really part of my purpose. So I'm just so
Incredible.
grateful to have you as part of my journey, and now to share you with my community. It's just been a real treasure. So
Leslie, you're
much.
so precious. Honestly, I send you a massive hug and to everyone. And literally, yeah. And I always say this. I think, if we really go into that space of, opening our heart and opening our minds and just, leave out all that judgment, my goodness, there's nothing that we can't achieve, and we can help each other, right? We can really have that. We need to say, I'm thinking, can you help me? And you do it so well. So you know what I mean? Just reaching out, saying, what is it that you're doing? Like, let's, it doesn't matter that we have never met. So I want Wendy, anyone, on here, to just say, I would love to, Simona, to get, send me a DM, let me know what you're doing. I love connecting. I love having new friends.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Take her up on it. Simona's,
Yes,
she's such a great connector, just to connect personally.
I'm
She's amazing.
constantly.
This is a real gem here. Such a treat to have you be the one to kick us off in our On Purpose Connection series. So
Honestly,
special. Thank you,
incredible to be the
Simona.
first one. But listen, so lovely. Thank you very, very much. And thank you for everything that you're doing. And this is only the beginning. I know that this is going to be, right, writing that story together as well, which is very exciting. I
So
can see
good.
it. I can see
Thank
an
you so
event.
much, Simona.
My darling, I'll send you kiss. I go out
Mwah.
and you stay. Ciao. Ciao.
Bye,
Speak
love. Ciao,
soon.
ciao.
Bye. Ciao.
Okay. So hopefully you guys all were able to, something's wrong, Misha. I don't see, is that still on by any chance? Hold on one second. It is. Okay, that's fine. Okay, everyone. So I hope that you enjoyed that. And our first first of many in our On Purpose connection series. So honored to have Simona, and let us know, keep dropping the comments underneath this video. What was your biggest takeaway? And if you did sign up on HubDot, I'll make sure to drop those links underneath here. If Misha hasn't, I'm sure she has already. And yeah, let's go ahead and go to those virtual piazzas together. And it's just an incredible community. And as you can see, just from her energy and her spirit, like she's incredible. So I'm so honored that I was able to share one of the women that has been very inspirational and influential in my journey. And I look forward to connecting with you next week. Next week, we have another special guest who will be joining us same time, same place. So here in the On Purpose Collective, Thursday, 6 p.m. Barcelona, 5 p.m. London, 12 p.m. New York, and 9 a.m. Los Angeles. And I will drop in our Facebook group more information on who that special guest will be. But just for now, I just wanted you to just bask in that really special special interview that we had with Simona, and just start to get your wheels thinking about, you know, what is your purpose? What are you being pulled by right now? Who are some of the people or the things that you can do to keep stepping into your own feminine power? And who can you possibly connect with, collaborate with? Because that's really what it's all about. Okay, everyone, until next time, I will catch you next week. Much love, many blessings. Bye, everyone.